I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting. No, don't take his phone. Don't take his phone.
You see this? Look. You see this? Hey, give me my money, man. Give me my money.
He just stole his money. He just stole his money.
Welcome back, viewers. Dave Epstein here from the Post Pollock firm in Roseland, New Jersey. Here to show you a video, a three-part video, I believe, of corrupt cops caught on camera. One of my viewers sent this to me, wanted me to comment. I concluded that we should. But let's see what happened here where they were not being so good.
Taylor police officer caught manhandling a driver. It was a seemingly ordinary day in April of 2016 when Calvin Jones, a 26-year-old motorist, found himself at the center of a traffic stop that would soon turn into a shocking display of police misconduct. The incident, captured on a dashcam video, would expose the dark underbelly of corruption within the law enforcement system. The video begins with the officer's patrol car pulling over Jones's vehicle on a quiet street in Taylor. As the officer approaches the driver's side, he out of nowhere requests Jones's driver's license. However, instead of complying, Jones questions the reason for being pulled over.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing, man?
You have your driver's license vehicle plate on you?
What's going on?
I'll be happy to tell you once I see who I'm talking to, alright?
I need you to let me know, like, what's going on, like, what happened?
Like I said, I'd be happy to tell you once I see information.
I'm not giving you my information.
The officer, who still refused to give his reason for pulling Jones over, continued to insist on seeing his license, even going as far as issuing a well-disguised threat.
Failure to give me my information is an arrestable offense, okay? So you can either do this the easy way or the hard way, alright?
I need to know what you're pulling me over for.
I'm going to tell you once I see information, alright?
I got information, but I'm not giving you my information until you tell me what you put me over.
For the next few minutes, the officer engages in a conversation with Jones, who now insists that his passenger, a woman judging from her voice, gets what's happening on camera.
Alright, here's the deal. You either give me your ID or you go to jail. How about that?
Put this on camera, man, because we're not dealing with this.
The officer radios in and refers to Jones as an uncooperative occupant. Frustration begins to mount as Jones adamantly refuses to hand over his identification until he is informed of the reason for the stop. Tensions escalate as the officer's patience wears thin.
All right, open the door.
Hey, put this on camera. Put this on camera. You gotta let me know what's going on, man. You're not going to...
You're going to jail is what's going on.
For what? You ain't... What charges? On what charges? Wow.
In a shocking turn of events, the officer forcefully breaks open a window with the assistance of 3 other officers.
Get out of the car, man. Get out of the car.
Get out of the car! Get out!
Let me get out of the car.
Okay, get out! Get out of the car!
You ain't getting out of the...
They proceed to yank Jones out of his car, employing excessive force to subdue him.
Put your hand behind your back.
It is during this violent arrest that Jones reportedly loses consciousness after being subjected to a chokehold. The incident raises serious questions about the officer's response and whether it was justified given the circumstances. The aftermath of the arrest revealed further troubling details. Jones's wife, who was present during the incident, was also arrested, raising concerns about the arrest of someone trying to cooperate with the police. Jones himself alleged mistreatment while in custody, highlighting potential violations of his rights. The dismissal of charges against Jones and his wife, followed by the involvement of the ACLU and the filing of a complaint, prompted a thorough investigation into the incident. The Taylor police chief assured the public of a diligent examination of the case, promising accountability for those involved.
Okay, folks, I'm a mixed bag on this one. Because while the officer was, to me, playing games, he pulls somebody over, he says, "Why am I being pulled over?" So I'll tell you when you give me your information. I want to see who I'm dealing with. Just give him an idea. There's nothing wrong with somebody being told why they're being pulled over. On the other hand, in most states, you impliedly consent by driving on the road to handing over your information, your driver's license, insurance, and registration when pulled over by a police officer when they request it. If they have stopped you without cause, if it's an illegal stop, your lawyer can take that up with them. You can deal with that then. You don't sort of take the law into your own hands. So this driver was actually refusing to do something that the police officer was allowed to ask him. Now, the police officer acted, let's just say, initially he sounded like he was polite, but as soon as he got resistance, I think what happens is they want to show who's boss. And what all he had to say was, listen, I'm pulling you over. You were speeding, you were this, you were that. So the driver, there was a little bit of fault by everybody there. The way they took the guy out of the car, again, it looks horrible. It's violent. But the guy was refusing to give his information, refusing to get out of the car. I blame this on both sides. The police officer could have diffused that in 2 seconds and made himself look perfect by saying, you were speeding, your taillight's out, something happened here that gave me reason to pull you over. He didn't. He wanted to, show who's boss. And unfortunately, this thing ended up in a mess. Why they arrested the wife, I have no idea. She wasn't resisting anybody. She's not required to, unless they suspect she's got a gun or something. Why are they going after her? But with the driver, they asked him several times, and what happens is if they have probable cause to pull you over and you refuse to give them your credentials, so they don't know who you are. For all they know, you're a wanted felon. They need to know who you are. They are allowed to arrest you. And if you won't get out of your car, they can forcibly make you get out of your car. I don't know if that one is really as much a police brutality matter as they described. I thought their takedown was a little rough. They said he lost consciousness. I could not tell if he was resisting. It happened so fast. But the window smashing open and the guy flying out of the car, again, bad optics, but I'm not quite sure on this one. Let's see the next one.
Teen captures corrupt cop arresting his father. It was September 29, 2019, when officers from the Park City Police Department received a call regarding a loud argument on Spalding Court and Racket Club Drive. Responding to the complaint, the officers arrived at the scene to find two men engaged in a heated exchange. The argument centered around the two teenagers, including Jack Franchek, riding their gas-engine bicycles on the street. One of the men involved in the argument approached the officers and claimed to have been in a dispute with Michael Franchek, Jack's father. This individual alleged that Franchek had become confrontational and aggressive during their interaction. Adding to the intensity of the situation, a woman who witnessed the argument informed the officers that she had seen a gun in Franchek's possession as he walked away from the altercation. With the information provided by the witnesses, the officers decided to locate Michael Franchek's residence and make contact with him. Their intention was to address the situation and ensure the safety of all parties involved. As the officers arrived at Michael Franchek's front porch, he came out already poised with his cell phone, recording what was going on, almost like he had an idea that the situation would escalate.
Can I help you?
Hello, are you, Michael?
Hi, can I help you with something?
Yeah, we're here about a...
And your name?
Officer Rodriguez.
First name?
Jim.
Jim, how are you, Jim? And your name? Please?
Sure.
Sorry? Badge number?
What's that?
Badge number, please?
After the formalities were exchanged, the police officers proceeded to question him about the argument. Their goal was to address the escalating situation and gather more information about the alleged firearm. However, their encounter took an unexpected turn when Franchek, upon refusing to answer, made the sudden decision to run inside his home.
Let's go ahead and talk about the incident that you had out here a few minutes ago.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Step down here for me.
No, thanks.
Yeah, no.
Franchek's attempt to evade the officers and retreat into his house caught them off guard. The officers then forcefully badged into his home without a search warrant and tried to arrest him.
I didn't do anything. You just came into my house without a warrant.
You're running away.
I'm not running away from you.
You just did. Was there any
gun in your back pocket. I just want to make sure we're safe. We're safe. Okay, come on outside.
Even though Michael constantly reassured them that he wasn't with a gun, the officers didn't pay attention to him as they tasered him, trying to get him out of the house. That was the moment he yelled for his son, Jack, who began to record what was going on, and for some reason, this seemed to make them more angry, and they attempted to collect his phone.
Just stop resisting. I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting. No, don't take his phone. Don't take his phone. Don't take his phone.
Things started to escalate when another officer tried to intimidate Jack from getting close to his father.
Now. Hey, don't touch me. Stop harassing me.
We're just trying to.
I'm videoing this. Please get out of my personal space.
No.
Yes.
You're not gonna
Get out
interfere
of my
with what we're
personal
doing.
space. This is my property. Please
You're
get out
not
of my
gonna interfere with an arrest.
Seeing that the young boy wouldn't budge, they decided he needed to be detained, but Jack wasn't having any of that.
Me and his. So why aren't you guys arresting him? Why aren't you attacking? Yeah. He can just lie.
One of the officers whose body cam fell in the house went back to get it, even though he had no right to entry, and when Jack followed him, he began to threaten the teenager.
Hey! Stay back. I'm going in my house.
Stay back.
I'm going in.
If you try and come past me, you're gonna go on the ground face first. Do you understand me?
Okay, and then I'm gonna file a complaint against you.
The officers knew they had nothing against him, so they decided to bring up the legality of riding a gas-powered bicycle without a driver's license, but Jack proved once again that he was no pushover. Seeing that they couldn't get any dirt on the teenager, they took Franchek off to be booked in the Summit County Jail.
Okay, folks. Well, we had something, it's not quite as much a mixed bag in that case, but I will say this. A neighbor claims that you got into an altercation or a verbal altercation and that they saw a gun on you. The guy comes out, he's filming. Maybe he's allowed to, maybe he's not. I don't see why he wouldn't be allowed to. And the police officers want to question him about this allegation that he might have a gun. There is something called the fresh pursuit doctrine in the law, and that is where you're following somebody who you believe committed a crime and you're afraid they might commit more, that you follow them even into a place where you would ordinarily need a warrant, but because you're in fresh pursuit, you're allowed to go in. From there, I think things went haywire from the police officer's standpoint. You know, tasing the guy, he's saying you can't arrest me, you can't do this, you can't do that. If he was going to go in, what they could do is say we have a warrant, go get a warrant. Say we have probable cause based on what the neighbor said. Are you going to come out? Instead, they went in and kind of pushed it too far. The kid all he was doing was filming. And they were doing everything they could to try to scare him off from filming. He's allowed to film. And he sounds like he's pretty well schooled in his rights and, talking about you don't have a warrant and things like this. So this one probably involves a warrantless search. Going back in to get your body cam, I don't know if that could get you in that much trouble because you're going back to get a piece of your personal property. If you were in there for the wrong reasons or illegally in the first place, okay, but going back to get your body cam is not as big a deal. The real question was whether they had probable cause to believe he'd committed a crime, and arguably with a neighbor saying, I thought I saw a gun, although I thought I saw a gun, I don't know what that means. Once again, a little fault by both parties, but the police may have had the right to go into the house. I think they got a little rough afterwards. The little excessive use of force and a little conduct unbecoming in dealing with this young boy and threatening to throw him face down on the ground. Let's see the next video, folks.
Cop caught stealing $1,300 from construction worker. As the sun set over the vibrant streets of Coney Island, a routine encounter between the police and a construction worker took a sinister turn. Lamar Joy, a hard-working Brooklyn resident, found himself at the center of a shocking incident that would forever change his perception of law enforcement. It all began when the NYPD received a radio call about a man with a gun in the area. Responding to the call, officers approached Joy's, who happened to match the suspect's description. What should have been a standard procedure quickly escalated into a terrifying ordeal. As the officers attempted to apprehend Joy's friend, he instinctively resisted, questioning the legitimacy of their actions. Little did he know that his decision to speak up.
Folks, I just have to interrupt there. This talk about instinctively resisted don't take that as like a call for you all to instinctively resist. That does not get you anywhere. So disregard the narrator there.
Would have dire consequences. Seeing what was happening, Joy himself decided to interfere on behalf of his friend, questioning the officer's actions. In a disturbing turn of events, one officer forcefully slammed Joy against a nearby fence, subjecting him to an unnecessary display of aggression.
Look, you see this? Look. You see this? You see this? Get my shit, man. Give my money, man. Give my money.
He just stole his money. He just stole his money.
With Joy pinned against the fence, the officer proceeded to conduct a pat-down search, ostensibly searching for the alleged weapon. However, what happened next would shock the world. In a brazen act of theft, the officer reached into Joy's pocket and extracted a substantial amount of cash. The video footage captured this shocking act, leaving viewers in disbelief, but the officer's actions didn't stop there. In a display of excessive force, he then proceeded to pepper spray Joye, leaving him writhing in pain and disoriented when he tried collecting his money back. The officer quickly retreated from the scene, leaving behind a trail of chaos and confusion. To make matters worse, Joy's sister, witnessing the unjust treatment of her brother, bravely stepped forward to demand the officer's badge number. In a cruel twist of fate, she too became a victim of the officer's abuse of power, as he callously pepper sprayed her without hesitation. The aftermath of this harrowing encounter left Joy and his sister traumatized and bewildered. Joy's lawyer has since come forward, alleging that the officer not only stole over $1,300 in cash, but also failed to return the money. The NYPD, on the other hand, claims to have found only $62 and a cell phone on Joy, both of which were vouchered at the police station. It is important to note that Joy had withdrawn the money to celebrate his birthday, a joyous occasion that was cruelly overshadowed by this incident. Due to the traumatic experience, he was unable to collect his money or phone from the precinct station, leaving him further victimized by the very institution meant to protect him. This shocking encounter ignited a firestorm of outrage within the Brooklyn community and beyond. The blatant abuse of power and alleged theft by an NYPD officer shattered the trust between law enforcement and the people they are sworn to serve. As the story continued to unfold, the demand for justice grew louder, with Joy's lawyer calling for the return of the stolen money and a thorough investigation into the officers involved.
Folks, you know what this is a demonstration of? How narrators and people can influence you and tell you what you're seeing when it's not necessarily what you see. Now, if this officer stole from this suspect, if he pepper sprayed him for no good reason, he should be charged not only as in police misconduct terms, he should be dismissed. If he just came up and pepper sprayed a guy for giving him some back talk, he should be dismissed or reprimanded. But I'm looking at that video, and it's not clear what happened there. Clearly, the narrator is giving this dramatic description of what's happening, and I couldn't tell what the officer had in his hand. His hand was out of the way when he's supposedly pepper spraying the guy. If he was pepper spraying the guy, frankly, I didn't see the guy resisting arrest or anything along those lines. I'm not sure why he was frisking him. If he pepper sprayed the guy's sister simply because she was filming it and pointing out how crazy this was, then that's an assault by him. It's excessive use of force, and she wasn't even a suspect. On the other hand, the way this narrator placed this whole situation, it presumes that all of this happened, and it's not clear on the videotape. It really is not. So I would want to see better quality of that video. I didn't see that there was any police review board discussion or any decision made. They said, oh, this caused a firestorm, he hired a lawyer. Well, that's great. And if they prove what they say he did and he did it, then let the chips fall where they may, whether in a civil suit, disciplinary proceedings for conduct unbecoming, for theft, for excessive use of force. But at the same time, I don't see any conclusion here. Just because somebody hired a lawyer or it was raised on, looked like MSNBC, that doesn't mean it was found to be true. And I would lay off this particular narrator as far as this is exactly what happened. You watch the video of the police officer and you decide for yourself, but more importantly, understand the evidence right there is not entirely clear. Could the police department be covering up for him because they said he only had $62, or did he ditch the rest of the money if he did take it? Sure, anything's possible. That's why we have hearings. That's why evidence is presented, and that's why people find out in the right way, in the right form, the right manner, whether somebody did something. So overall, this video had a number of things alleged, and it was all under the heading of corrupt cops caught on camera, but I'm not so sure that it was all that much corruption. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you yourselves look at these videos like any others and make your own decisions and use your good judgment in deciding what happened. And if you don't know, that's why we have a justice system. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe, like the video, comment. Again, I'm more than happy to read the comments and respond, and I'll see you next time.